What you're talking about, the only thing I can at least pull off the top of my memory is that video that I reference quite often about that guy in Florida who had caught a dogman on video, his live. Like that thing was metaphysical. It was translucent, but yet it was running, but you could see through it. And it was large, and it was definitely a canine on its hind legs. And so like it had these different properties, it was just like in one moment, a blink of an eye, this thing is physical, or at least appears to be physical, is doing things that we know physical things in this realm would do, but yet its body itself was translucent in certain spots. It's very interesting.
It is really interesting. And that only furthers my opinion that this is a biological entity. Like this is something that has an ability that we as humans cannot grasp. It's out of our ability to, because we've never experienced it. We can't point to any creature on the planet that can do it. We can't do it. We can't even do it with all of our technology, really. So it's kind of like this could be something that either comes from somewhere else, phases in, phases out, or it's literally from here, but it's a species we haven't found. That's why we haven't found Bigfoot and stuff. These are things that have properties to them that are not monkeys in the woods type deals. These aren't wild dogs. These aren't like these creatures that you can shoot. I literally believe you can't kill them because there's no way that we can kill them yet. I think we will get the ability to kill them, but I don't think that we in our current state can kill them.
Talk to me. Talk to me. You can't leave me hanging like that yet.
It's spiritual, man. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't, oh boy, we're going in it.
No, we're not. Okay. I don't want to get into it yet. Because I could see how it's going to just go back and forth all over the place,
Let me finish it then.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me close it out. I think that there will come a point where the weaponry will be provided. And
it's coming very soon.
It's coming very soon. But we as humans, and unfortunately we as Christians, forget that there is a real war going on. Like with casualties. Like things are dying. And so where is it? It's here, but not. It's in this phase world.
It's what David Grush was talking about in a sense. When he was talking about these NHIs, he said they're here, but they're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, the reason he was so weird might be because he was horrified. Not because he didn't necessarily know what he could or couldn't say.
Or he just doesn't totally understand because he doesn't have the proper lenses to look at it.
It's very possible too.
But us podcasters, we have the proper lenses.
Oh yeah, experts on that. 100%.
I'm just saying, David, you might want to call me sometime, buddy. Have a seat at the confessionals table and we can really help educate you on what you're experiencing with this whole whistleblower nonsense.
Yep. Newsflash, you can't kill him.
Well, I can try. So, listen, if I'm out in the woods and I got a dog man peering down at me, I'm going to at least try.
You have to try.
The goal is head or neck. That's my philosophy right now.
And also just don't sleep with your butt in the air. If you got those three things going, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Just going to let that one roll. Anyways, so the running stance, let me take it back to a normal conversation.
Right.
Normal.
Yeah.
The running stance, what I find interesting about your experience is that you didn't see this thing. You saw the eyes, which is part of the thing. But a couple of the characteristics you described, the running stance, the deep growl, the way it operated, man, and we were talking about this earlier, but it reminds me of Wes's experience. Wes got a chance to actually see these things. Scary.
Yeah.
But you're describing very similar things as to what he experienced and what other people have shared. And what everybody says, including yourself, in one way or another is when they experience these creatures or things, entities, whatever they are, it's not natural.
Right.
It's not natural. When I talked to a lady on the show, I forget what show or what episode it was like $2.99. I called it the spider crawl. I didn't know what else to call it. Like she's talking about seeing a creature on Mount Hood.
Mm-hmm.
She's going out there to pick mushrooms and she sees it punching down on all these down trees because it's just all these down trees and mushrooms growing on it. And she thought it was somebody in a hoodie. And she's like, dang. And then the thing stood up and looked at her. And she said it was huge. But what happened that was so unnatural was it got down on all four, torso facing up to the sky, keeping its head facing her, and walked backwards up the hill. That's not natural.
Nope.
That's not natural.
Yeah.
And
no, that's crazy.
And I met her in Washington. We were shooting the documentary and stuff. She's going to be in the documentary telling that story. We tried getting to the location, and luck has it, twice now. I was in the desert of Utah and I was in Washington State, and we got snow.
Of course. Yeah.
and we were driving an RV that we were renting, and it got so bad. I was like, we can't keep going to the scene. So we had to come back down to less elevation and find a spot that was similar that she could kind of go out and explain, you know?
She saw two of them?
One.
Just one of them.
Actually, so on that episode, she didn't say she saw two.
Okay.
When we're talking, she saw one there, but she had another experience where she wasn't sure what she saw, but it was very large. So it's funny because she does not want to say Bigfoot. Yeah. She doesn't want to say what it is. So she's like, this is what I experienced. And you're like, you're taking me to the water, but you're just not drinking it, you know?
Right.
But she saw something cross, I think it was railroad tracks, and it was carrying, I think, a tree underneath its arm. And she's like,
the same creature? A different creature?
Different day, different scenario. The outdoorsy person and her, I think she said it was her and her boyfriend were walking the tracks, and this thing just went.
Hey man, Washington is a crazy place.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild out there. I lived out there for a little while.
I had no idea. Like, I've been in the woods considerably throughout my life. Mm-hmm. Okay. And people, when I say that, I think people are like, Philadelphia. No, listen, first of all, I never lived in Philly. I lived just outside the city, and I was raised in no man's land, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Dude, Northeast is crazy.
I moved towards the city when I was in college.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in the woods, and when I went to Washington, those woods are different.
They're ancient. Like
those things are on another level.
I mean, it's a rainforest. It's crazy out there.
What you just said, the shots will depict that. Yeah. It is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But you feel like you're in another country.
Oh, it's haunting. It's like another planet.
It's like you're in the Upside Down.
Absolutely.
That's the way.
Yeah, that's just like vines coming down.
Just like the moss hanging off the trees. You're just like. Like that, the soundtrack of the Stranger Things that like dun dun dun.
You know that's where the vampires are, right?
No, talk to me though, because this is interesting.
No, I know it's not that. It's a Twilight joke.
Oh,
you just lost.
Moving on.
You just lost 50 listeners.
Moving on. But anyways, Washington, it is bonkers. And the vampires are real though, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they're in Washington.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Why wouldn't they be?
I've heard they're in Vegas, right? Or LA?
It's 29 Palms, Joshua Tree. Yeah. Of course. Why not, right?
Right.
Just take a little hitchhike up north and you're
definitely on military bases too.
100%.
Because military
they're probably locked in cages on military bases.
Man, I never saw any. I wish I would have.
What base were you on?
So you recently did another episode.
Tell me Fort Campbell.
No.
Oh.
I was on Fort Huachuca, Hawaii.
Okay. Is that the one that Nick's on?
I'm sorry. Fort Huachuca's in Arizona. That's where I started. And then I went to Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. And yes, that's where I don't know if he was on. I kept listening and try to hear what base he said he was on, but we were on the same island.
Okay.
And his stuff is completely validated. Hawaii is a beast. There's I mean, it's ancient. First of all, it's a country. It's a foreign country. It's a foreign land. And though I didn't experience anything weird and I explored that island to its fullest, I know that the locals have a lot of the legends he was saying are true. Like,
Yeah.
you can feel the magic, but
Magical places, man. Magical
know.
places.
I
Like,
don't know.
I'm in the hunt for magical places.